Good afternoon. My name is Michael Millman. I'm from Santa Monica, California. I congratulate Santa Monica for renters' rights for engineering, promoting, and jamming this bill up here in Sacramento. Thank you, Santa Monica.
Good afternoon. My name's Larry Canizaro. I'm a small property owner from Mar Vista, California, and I strongly oppose SB 364.
Good afternoon. My name is Don Dennis, a small property owner from Los Angeles, California. Strongly oppose this bill.
My name is Sopang Only. I say no.
My name is Yao Li. SB 364, no.
Yang Hoi Li, no.
Sure. No.
My name is Feng Qi Yang, no. SB 364.
My name is Dekeng Chin. I say no.
My name is Lai Tan Eng Poon, live to San Francisco. I say no.
My name is Mary, no. 74. My name is Yim Pin Zhou, I know.
My name is Wan Chiu. I say no on SB 364.
My name is Song Lee. No on SB 364.
My name is Liu Ding Zhang, no. 364.
我翻去嗰個台灣，好多。
人生司徒 no. D64.
My name is On Yong. I'm no on SB 3064.
I am Jin Chiu, now on 364.
I am Choi Pong, no. SB 364.
My name is Jinny Liu, no on SB 364.
我叫柯菊光，我係租客，我哋大家都反對，我哋大家起親反對。My name is Ye. No.
No demonstrations, please. Thank you.
You need to translate and tell them not to put the signs up.
Okay. Okay. So the lady just said that her name is Huang Ji and she's a renter. She and her folks of 100 people here opposing SB 364. 大家請咧唔好將個山腳起身下，多謝。
Lucia, no.
I want to say one thing real quick, just please don't laugh at them. They do have a language barrier, but they do have their right to let their voice heard. So please be quiet and be respectful to all this senior who came all the way from San Francisco.
My name is George Rondo.
My name is Mei Tuan, SB 364.
My name Chu Sang Li, 364. No.
My name is Winnie Zhang. I say no. 364. My name is Anne. We are hardworking, just want to keep the house.
No.
My name is Tinghua Wang. I'm the owner in San Francisco. I say no. I think San Francisco rent control is unfair to the owner.
My name is Zhang. San Francisco. No, thank you.
My name is Jin Li. I know. My name is Jenny. I say no.
My name is Mary Will. I'm a small property owner and I oppose 364.
My name is Katrina Fong. I'm a small property owner, and I say no on SB 364. Thank you.
My name is Pam Manning. I don't say no elder.
My name is Ying Huang. I'm saying no on SAB 364.
No.
Lily Choi. I say no.
My name is Hannah. I say no on SB 364.
My name is Baoying Wu, Gogo Wu. I'm a tenant and recently become a homeowner. I'm a realtor. I'm a vice president for Chinese Real Estate Association of America. I want to tell you, there's years gone by because of the current situation is created by rent control. And there's more people trying to withdraw from the rental property and creating more issue in the housing market. At the end, the tenant will suffer and homeowners suffer. So I want to let you know that we all come up just to let you know that we oppose this bill, SB 364. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We want people just give their name, organization, and position, please. Thank you.
My name is Joe. I say no, SB 364.
My name is Josephine Zhao. I'm one of the 6 co-founders of BetterHousingPolicies.org that contains both immigrants, renters, and property owners. We 1,000 members all say no.
Thank you. Questions from the committee? Anybody have questions? Okay. Yes, Senator Gaines, please.
Because I'm just wondering, I know that the housing issue in San Francisco is chronic, and I'm just wondering to what degree is local government allowing for an increase in supply? And are there measures being taken? Because it appears to me that we have a supply and demand issue with, as a result of a lot of very successful businesses and a lot of demand to live in a beautiful city. And so are we providing, is government providing any sort of relief to try to provide affordable housing, whether it's rental or owned, and whatever that priority may be for the community, is that being addressed?
Sure. Mr. Chair, if I may make a comment, and then I'll pass it to the mayor so Senator Gaines can hear from the mayor of San Francisco himself as to what the city is doing. So again, just to reiterate, I think you had to step out of the room. We are, of course, 7 miles by 7 miles, just that. We are the second most dense urban environment in America, second only to the island of Manhattan. We're surrounded by water on 3 sides. There's so much we can do, and we are doing.
If I could just
tens
clarify
of thousands.
the difference between our districts, because I think you have about 50 square miles and I've got 27,000. So I know our districts are very different, but I would love to learn more about the housing issue.
And you make the point as to why this should be a local control measure. I wouldn't expect you to know all of the specifics or the dynamics of our housing crisis or what it means to live or represent 49 square miles. Again, an argument for local control. So we are building tens of thousands of new units currently. I authored the inclusionary zoning ordinance in San Francisco when I was on the Board of Supervisors 15 years ago. Since then, with the support of for-profit developers, we have increased the mandate on developers from 15% of all new units that they build to be below market rate to now the newest projects going forward, 33% will all be below market rate. No place else in the country is doing what we are doing. So I'm going to ask the mayor if he wanted to add anything additional. This is his main focus right now.
Well, thank you. Through the chair, Senator, the areas of Hunters Point, if you know our city, the areas of Visitation Valley, of Mission Bay, of Treasure Island, and also even Park Merced on the west side, are part of my plan to build 30,000 units of new housing by 2020, with an assurance of a minimum of 30% of that to be affordable to low and moderate income, and that we're well on our way. I announced this goal a year and a half ago, and we've already built 4,300 of those units, with 1,300 of them guaranteed for low income. So we are going to accomplish that, and that is my mission. There's a number of things I've done to make sure we have the financing for it. We're obviously identifying all government-owned land, whether it's our PUC, our school district, or city college, because land cost is the key to affordable housing in our city. We've amassed, in the past 3 years, $1.3 billion commitment with our voters to create a housing trust fund. It yields about $50 million a year. And I'm putting forth a $250 million housing bond this November. And at the same time, we're rebuilding all of our public housing. As you know, many of our public housing have been dilapidated for years, and without HUD support, we've had to do it ourselves. And that's another housing stock that I want to not lose, simply because of inattention and dilapidation. So we're aggressively doing this, and it is my focus. It's my highest priority. And I assure you that we're buying down land as fast as we can. We're building. We have 37 cranes up, and we're doing aggressively, but we simply need more time, and I don't want to simply be building to replace lost housing. We have to have the net new, and I'm turning over keys as fast as I can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Other questions, Senator Witkowski?
I'm going to have to tell my parents, we moved out of 16th and Dolores when I was 4 years old. Ouch. I'm going to let them know that it's $3,400 for rent right now. That's something. On your ma and pa small property exemption, I know that you'll be taking amendments to clarify. We're talking about people that own up to 4 units on 2 different properties. So it's 2 duplexes or a triplex in a single family home. And it could be more than one person. So it could be ma and pa and the kid or something like that. And also a living trust. Am I correct on that? And then why is that the right size of the small person exemption?
We're trying to do everything that we can to be sensitive to small property owners. The vast majority of these Ellis Act evictions, and let's call them what they are, they're no-cause evictions. You're paying your rent, you're a good tenant, you're a good neighbor, you're going to work, probably for not much more than minimum wage, trying to keep your family intact. No-cause evictions. They're happening in the smaller buildings. They're not happening in the larger buildings. But at the same time, we want to be protective of our small property owners at the same time. There was some question about corporations and should they be exempt. We are also trying to make sure that this allowance that the bill proposes for San Francisco will not be further gamed by the speculators as the current Ellis Act is being gamed by the speculators. People pretending that they're not speculators, pretending that they're small mom and pop owners and that they're real landlords, which they're not. So it's a delicate balance. Again, I would appreciate support from this committee so that the bill can at least live another day. It's got another policy committee to get to before it gets to the floor. Many issues will be worked out, inheritance issues. You inherited a property from your parents. They'd owned it for 30 years. Should your clock restart? And now you've only owned it for 1 year. You can't use the Ellis Act if you needed to within 5 years. We don't think that's fair, so we want to discuss that in judiciary. But let me also remind everybody, all this protestation notwithstanding, the owner of a property can always sell it. You want to get out of the business? You have to, for whatever your reasons, there could be multiple reasons, you can sell it at a premium in San Francisco today. And I don't know why that continues to go overlooked and that we are somehow strangling the property rights of property owners. We're just not. We're trying to find a good balance of protecting thousands of people who are losing their homes and the 1 or 2 sad stories of property owners, which in fact, some cases are exaggerated. Mr. Vince Young was here last year, and from questioning by the committee, yes, he and his, I don't know with his family, but he purchased a 7-unit building. That itself is worth a couple $1 million. There is an owner move-in allowance in San Francisco. He doesn't have to use the Ellis Act. I don't know what bizarre peculiarities are. He can move in with his wife and himself. He can move in his father. That's 2 units. Maybe he's trying to get rid of more than 2, but that's what owner move-in allowance does. Also in committee last year, he admitted he owns multiple properties in San Francisco. So his father's on Social Security, but that's not the point. They own many, many, many millions of dollars worth of property. And he also admitted in committee last year when asked that he is a real estate professional.
Other questions? Other questions, committee members? Okay, Senator Mendoza. We need a motion. We don't have a motion on the floor.
Mr. Leno, Senator Leno, thank you again. The testimony was really good on both sides. Appreciate you coming by. The Ellis Act was intended to allow landlords to exit the rental business, and I know that San Francisco has very strong tenant protections, which is good. I know that people could spend up to upwards of $40,000 to $50,000 in relocation fees, or got to give a 1-year notice. I mean, all those things can be a hindrance to, could be a small property owner or someone who just wants to exit. I truly believe that 364 forces property owners to stay into business when it's really failing. And the new property owners, I mean, to take this burden on, I think it wouldn't be fair. I do think that if people want to sell their property, they can sell it. They need to look at the way this property is being handled. Just the tenant protections alone can be kind of problematic for any new owner, and the existing owners don't want to deal with it. That could be expensive. I do have a concern that this might replicate in other municipalities. I know it's a district-specific bill, but I do believe it might be replicated. I'm happy to hear, Mr. Mayor, that you are doing a lot to build the housing. I think that's great. I wish it would have started many years ago. I know there was some setbacks with RDA. I did not, just to let you know, I did not vote to eliminate redevelopment. I was one of the few, because I know how much good you could do with redevelopment. But I know there was some setbacks, and I just wish we weren't in this conundrum, in this situation. But those are my concerns, and why I can't support your bill.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, other members.
I would like to move SB 364 at this time for someone who voted to get rid of redevelopment.
Okay. And to clarify, that's with the understanding that Senator Leno's commitment, the mayor's commitment to work on 2 issues outstanding are the inheritance issue and small business exemption or small owner exemption through the Judiciary Committee at the next step. And I'm sure the Judiciary Committee might have other issues, but those are the issues that we have raised in this committee.
As a member of the Judiciary, I'll keep a keen eye on both of those issues.
Okay, there's a motion.
Mr. Chair, could I just...
we have a close from Senator Leno.
Clean up here, please. Thank you. With regard to some of the concerns that the committee has just stated, the significance of rental protections in San Francisco. If you live in a rent-controlled unit in San Francisco, yes, there are many protections for you. But because of the Ellis Act, you can be evicted at any moment. You can be paying your rent. You're a good neighbor. You're doing everything you can. All these rental protections at the local level go out the window because of the Ellis Act. There is nothing to protect you. Absolutely nothing. And for concern for the rental protections for a new owner, no one's forcing anyone to buy rental property. People buy it with their eyes wide open, especially in San Francisco, because it is a quagmire. You're going to need an attorney, but no one's forcing you to buy it. And yet, there continues to be a red-hot market. So you've got to get out of the business. You can sell it. And as one of the opponent voices who was at the microphone before she got cut off because she wasn't supposed to say more than her name and her position, she said, quote, I've lived in my I've owned my property over 5 years. So again, I don't know what the opposition has put in their heads, but it's not accurate because, of course, this bill won't touch you if you've owned your property 5 or more years. And then if all of these folks here, and I thank everyone, both in support and in opposition, I know it's a day's trip to come up here, you've given your time, you've waited patiently, so I thank everybody who's come. But if it says anything to us, as Senator Gaines points out, 27,000 square miles to 49 square miles, I couldn't begin to presuppose or suggest I know your district so well that if you had a crisis, I wouldn't suggest, and your mayor was here, and your entire board of supervisors, and city council, and everyone unanimously was in support of what you were trying to do, that I would suggest I knew better how to deal with the most important crisis in your city. We want to restore the original intent of the Ellis Act for real landlords. Okay. And not only is the mayor in support, and 11 out of 11 members of the board of supervisors, all of whom are accountable to the voters. The mayor's on the ballot this year. He sees all the people who are here to oppose him. He's taking a stance because he believes in it and he's not afraid to be accountable to the voters. None of us here, aside from me, is accountable to these voters. It speaks for some local control, especially in times of an emergency. But we have major business leaders, the tech community, as was already mentioned, in support. Labor is in support. Tenant advocacy groups are in support. And I will close with a quote from Mark Benioff. You may know his name. He is the CEO, founder of Salesforce.com, one of the fastest growing corporations in the country, one of the largest employers in San Francisco, also one of San Francisco's major benefactors and philanthropists, having donated over $300 million of his money to a new hospital. He said in an interview last January with regard to intractable problems facing and challenging San Francisco, Mark Benioff said, quote, "The first thing is you can't be throwing all these people out of their homes. They are using the Ellis Act during this unbelievable boom time to toss everyday residents out of their homes. I think it is unfair, and I think it has to change. We've done our best to bring a strong coalition of those in San Francisco who want the local elected officials to figure this out for themselves. And I would ask for your aye vote."
Okay, other questions? Senator Bates has a question. Senator Lano.